A recount's been ordered in Romania's election amid growing controversy. The pro-Russian candidate, Călin Georgescu, finished top of the first round of voting. His success has been put down to the social media platform TikTok, and an intelligence service is raising questions. Concerns over Russian manipulation of the democratic process were expressed well before voting day. Georgescu is, of course, due to face the centrist contender Elena Lasconi in a runoff on December the 8th, but now the recounter is announced. Meanwhile, the parliamentary election is scheduled for Sunday. Let's bring in for analysis of the situation and the essential context. Oana Popescu-Zamfir joining us live from Bucharest. Oana, thank you very much for being with us here on France 24. We appreciate your time. This role of TikTok, give us a sense about how it has played a key part in this election so far.
Hi, thank you for having me. I think that is still a matter of investigation, because on the one hand, we may be dealing with an organic phenomenon which is just new, as social media networks are playing an ever more important role in our lives. So the particular thing about this campaign is that the candidate in cause has not campaigned on mainstream media or grassroots, door to door. We know virtually nothing about his team or even any campaign headquarters. So he's been completely non-transparent, and all we know is his social media TikTok persona, not really the profile of the man himself, but only what we see on TikTok. Now, this is the potentially organic part where I think we're all a little bit struck by something that's new and where social media is more impactful than before. On top of that, however, there are suspicions that this kind of visibility that the candidate was able to achieve in a very short time, which would have been very costly, it would have required significant strategizing and effort, that might actually be the result of foreign interference, especially since he has declared zero expenses from the money that is allocated by the state, so the budget that would be transparent. Hence, suspicions raised by the National Security Council today that he may have been benefiting from illegal visibility on TikTok. So maybe coordinated inauthentic behavior, as it is called.
So Georgescu could have used a very clever, indulged in a very clever use of social media, or it could have been Russian manipulation, or maybe a combination of the two. Is that what we're getting at?
Highly unlikely that the former alone would have got him to the kind of visibility and percentages that he got. Even data analysts and social media experts and sociologists cannot compute an explanation, a coherent explanation where smart use of social media alone would have got him here.
There is going to be a recount, Oana, a recount. Will that satisfy people?
Probably not. Actually, I think there's a growing perception, and this time because of the opacity and the lack of communication of state institutions over the past few days, that maybe now the government is trying to fix a potential democratic, an undemocratic, drift of the country through undemocratic means. It has not been very convincing that the Constitutional Court took this unprecedented step of ordering a total recount of votes in record time. If that shows a different result than the first time, obviously this would raise further doubt. I think it would further decrease the public's confidence in institutions. However, obviously, it would be a healthy process at the end of the day if there is something real behind it. So now I think we're in very confusing territory where some legitimate steps might actually be met with a high level of suspicion, given the general climate of polarization and lack of confidence in the process itself.
We hear exactly what you're saying, Oana. And of course, there is a second round of the presidential election to come on December the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And before that, a parliamentary election. So all this adding to the sense, I suppose, of doubt about the veracity of what happens and about the safety of what happens.
Absolutely. And I mean, ideally, state institutions would have provided, or at least would provide now at even at this late hour, more clarity, because lacking that, we have a deepening climate of, like I said, confusion and polarization. Part of society feels that the system might now be coalescing to stop the ascent of this independent candidate, and then they're going to mobilize to vote even more sovereignist for the parliamentary elections and to vote for him in the second round, or in a rerun of the first round, if that is the case, because that is still on the table. The other part of society is getting more and more mobilized against the possibility of this happening, and against the possibility of Romania moving in a Viktor Orban, Hungary kind of direction. So I think what we're seeing is heightened divisions within society, and a lot of suspicion on all sides.
Oana Popescu-Zamfir, thank you for joining us from Bucharest, from the Global Focus Centre. Oana, thanks for being with us. We, of course, watching for all developments.